So how to work with the feeling level? Normally we have three things: thinking mind, the cognitive mind or reasoning mind. Then we have this feeling mind or emotional mind or sensing mind, intuition mind. Then we have another layer, what we call the imprint mind, the habitual mind, unconscious level of mind. So three layers of the mind. So what is the feeling? So feeling comes with a lot of sensation. Of course, it comes in the body, and especially through the sensory, whatever you see, whatever you hear, you feel something. And normally, feeling might be pleasant, unpleasant, and there's a neutral feeling, but we are not aware of that neutral feeling. So neutral feeling is even when we go to the sleep, like almost like unconscious. Of course, when we go to sleep, we think it is unconscious, right? But that neutral feeling is still present. That's why when you feel cold, you still experience. When the mosquito bites you, you will automatically scratch. So that neutral feeling is always there with us. It's like what we call when you hit the drum, boom, and there's a vibration like that, right? So that feeling has throughout the body and throughout the mind. And based on that neutral, subtle feeling, then the gross feeling comes. So what is the gross feeling? Pleasant feeling. Ice cream, I love it. Or somebody says, oh, you're perfect, you did good job. So there's a wave of pleasant sensation comes in the body, and the mind is very happy, joyful. Or somebody says, you stupid. Now, uncomfortable feeling, right? Unpleasant feeling. And this feeling, of course, in our life, what we call, if you lost job, counter obstacles, relationship not go well, your stock market go down. And nowadays, there's a lot of turbulence happening around the world, like the conflicts and then environment problem. So then when we hear this, when we engage this, we have unpleasant feeling. And then, but if you looks like you find the perfect match, or you found your dream job, or you went to the wonderful place, and then you eat the food that you love, and then somebody says you are perfect, good job, you are looking nice, pleasant feeling comes. And then that feeling goes throughout the body and in the mind. And then there's another thing that I told you, that the neutral feeling, like always present, is opening. It's kind of like basis for all the feelings. And that is almost unconscious level. You feel that. And normally that feeling is related with intuition. Many people say, the moment I see something, I felt something, it's not right, or it's right. Or you don't know through the intellectual mind, you even don't know there's a good or not good, but you felt it's not really right or not really nice. Or you felt this, like you felt this connection. So that is the related with the neutral feeling. Neutral feeling is huge, and it manifests through the senses. So the moment you encounter something, that unconscious level process so many things there. And of course, that also based on your past experience, past memory. So many people think intuition is wisdom or genuine, or intuition is very important. That's true. intuition has a lot of the process, capacity to process so many things unconscious level. But of course, that intuition also related with the past experience, what we call imprint, past memory. So don't totally rely on intuition either. So you can take a lot from the intuition also, but use also your own experience, your own wisdom through the reasoning also. So try to combine and then rest with the, like, being with the present moment, like kind of like little bit meditative state. So all this combined really beneficial. So now the problem is sometimes these feelings, these emotions are very strong, especially the neutral feeling is very, very active. Then we become very sensitive. We feel like others' emotion. We feel like others' energy. We feel like, when you feel something and then we cannot say no. And based on that, then we develop what we call like stress. And maybe we burn out, maybe impatient. And also it create some, for me, like panic attacks, right? It was become very difficult when I was young because I'm very sensitive. And then always the feeling that connected with my environment, like storm, thunderstorm, snowstorm, strangers, so many things that kind of like processing through the feeling, and I don't know how to work with that. So now, how to work with that through the ancient practice? So three things we have to work with it. The view, working with the cognitive level, meditation, working with the emotion directly, then what we call application, working with the imprint, the unconscious mind, repeating positive imprint. So from the cognitive level, it's very important what we call let go, but letting go is not give up. So how to let go? We need to learn impermanence. Life is up and down. It changes. That means one way it looks like depressing, right? Impermanence, changing. But another way, that is possibility, that is potential, that is freedom, nothing is fixed. That is opportunity. So in fact, what we call, if you accept impermanent, then there's no really big obstacle because you can learn from obstacle. You can learn from up and down. Up is good, you feel happy. But the down, you learn more. You transform more. So for me, the panic attacks is a down moment for my life, but I learned the most from my panic attacks. So what I call panic is my teacher, my best friend. I mean it. So I'm teaching now this meditation because of my panic attacks. Now, accepting that up and down as potential, opportunity for the learning process is learning let go, but not give up. You're learning. By accepting that, you're not fixed, holding, so you're letting go. So that's the view. So that applies your relationship, your work, your life, your professional job, your business, your study, everything. Except from beginning, there is up and down, but through up and down, I want to learn and grow and transform. So there's a view from the cognitive level. Keep that in the background of our mind. Then second, how to work with emotion directly is what we call the meditation. So first step is we need to learn how to be with one object. And that is not the thinking mind, what we call being mind. So normally I give some choices. One is breathing. I think all of you might know. Be with the breath. Just feel the breathing. Be present with the breathing. You don't have to ask any question. You don't have to analyze anything. You don't have to do anything. Just be your mind. Be with the breathing. And that you cannot do too long. Only a few seconds. So then in between millions of bala 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 yada yada yada, past, future will come. Past, future, present, all this will come. Let them come. Let them go. And maybe sometimes sound, just listen to any sound. Sound of bird, music, traffic jam. Just listen. Be with the sound. Then slowly you come back to the body. Be with the body. Feel gravity. You can even do that like this. Relax. Feel with the gravity. Feel with the warm or cold temperature. Feel with the pleasant and neutral sensation first, then eventually unpleasant. Then in the end, number 3, third level, feel the feeling itself. Feel the emotion itself. Like I feel my panic attacks. Of course, at the beginning, very strong. I feel overwhelming. But actually, what we call, when you see the mountain, you're out of mountain. When you see the river, you're out of river. So if you can feel the emotion, then the awareness, the mind becomes bigger than emotion. And you don't need to stop the emotion. You don't need to block emotion. You don't need to control emotion. Like when you see the river, you don't have to stop the river, right? But you're out of river. You're watching the river. So same thing, that if you look at the emotion is still there, that means you're out of emotion. You're not totally controlled by emotion. So that's the first, like there is space between you and emotion. But emotion is still there. You don't have to block the emotion. So that's the first benefit. Second, now emotion become your friend. Emotion becomes support for your meditation. Just like breathing. Your breath come and go, right? By watching that breath, by being with that breathing becomes support for your meditation. Now, panic becomes support for your meditation. Of course, not so easy. And if you feel like overwhelmed, if you feel like you cannot really watch, then don't watch. Back to sound. Listen to sound. Or watch the breathing. So, like that way, then eventually you can have emotion, but emotion not become out of control. Emotion become your friend, and maybe emotion disappear for some people. There's a gap. And that gap is also good, what we call non-conceptual state. So if emotion disappear, let it disappear. Emotion there, just watch it. Let it be there. So you don't need to do anything. Don't choose. Through this meditation, I have to get rid of the emotion. I need that gap. Then emotion becomes stronger. Like when you say, don't think about orange, what happened? You think about orange. Don't try to stop. But you don't have to look for emotion, create emotion either. Non-judgment. Just witness. And then number 3, application, what we call. Now you can bring this practice in your life. Like the relationship, the other party. Normally I have a lot of people come to interview me and always complain about the relationship, how I can, deal with this, They don't understand me, they are not there for me, and they're, confuse me, and then in the end they turn out to be jerk, and then so many lists. So now you feel this, what do you have to do? The first thing is, remember, it is impermanent. Everything's changing. Relationship go up and down. There's no such thing as Mr. Perfect and Mrs. Perfect. Normally I'm saying that, Miss Okay, Mr. Okay, that's possible. But perfectness is difficult. So that is accepting that, letting go. Impermanent. It might be changed. Then you'll not give up. When you accept impermanent, see what things, how it flow. So actually then relationship become more healthy, longer. And your mind is less sensitive. But then when you face this a lot of emotion, then maybe first step, change focus. If you're angry, listen to sound. If you feel hatred, watch breathing. Like for me, panic, I go back to the breath. Panic, I go back to the breath. So that's the first step. And if you get experience that, you get some taste of that, normally we do about 1 month, then feel the body. When you feel the panic attacks, you can feel body. Then third, you can you can feel the panic directly. You can feel that hatred directly. When you not look at these panic is so solid and strong. When you look at panic become pieces normally. The sensation there, image, voices, belief, and they are changing. What I call is like shaving foam. Looks like piece of rock, but inside full of bubbles. So try that one in everyday life, like short time, many time. And the most important is the first step. Catch, I'm angry again. Like at the workplace, you feel stressed. I feel stressed again. So a lot of things are unconscious level normally. Like machine, we are kind of, at a certain level, we are becoming like machine. So if you don't feel that, if you don't catch that, even though you're telling yourself, I want to be nice, tomorrow I will go to my office with full of smile, then something happened, then the hatred blows up you like volcano eruption, and after 10 minutes later, So here with the training of this awareness is just catch, I'm just feeling hate. I'm stressed, I'm angry. And feel the body sensation. No need to say, no need to angry. You don't have to say, I should angry. Sometimes even you tell yourself not angry, it doesn't help, right? Become worse. So you don't have to do anything. Just catch that moment. By catching that moment, already feel relief, actually. A lot of power. Sometimes what we call just being aware, lot of positive job done by automatically, spontaneously. What we call when the sunlight appear, the frost, ice on the grass automatically melt. But sunlight doesn't think I should melt, or the frost says, don't melt me. It comes spontaneously. So the mental frozen ice in the emotional level, just being with that present, at a certain level, it melts. Yeah, so the view to accept impermanence, meditation, learning the being mind, not thinking mind, not the doing mind, being with the reality as it is. Begin by breathing, sound, then the body, then the emotion. Then apply that in everyday life, application. So when you do these 3 things, then emotion can become your teacher, emotion become your friend.